About
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
howdy. Welcome to Coffee Experts Club, Ben. Glad you joined today.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, I do miss the old days. I miss the old days of just like starting with Mumford tunes because I know that was like your favorite part, and I bet it's a heartbreak for you that we don't do that consistently anymore.
I'm just not technologically savvy enough. That's the problem.
Oh, it's such a lie. But I will say, and I don't know if you know this or not, but Taylor Swift tickets went on sale today. I mean, I know you're probably a big Swiftie. And she hasn't toured in 4 years. My wife is super excited about it. She had me join every list to get advanced on purchase. So, I mean, it's either Mumford or it's Taylor Swift. So, I mean, we could go back to Mumford my way, or if you want to start playing Taylor Swift tunes, we could do that too.
I have a room that needs to be painted in my house.
Yes, I
So
love it.
to skip that one.
That would be great. You might really dig it, Ben. You might dig it.
No, I actually we were just in Seattle. There were posters and signs everywhere.
Yes.
Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift.
I actually we saw Taylor Swift in Seattle last time. I saw Taylor Swift with my wife. My wife is a big Taylor Swift fan, so
There's not a ton of T Swift in this household. Sorry.
okay, we'll break in. There's not a ton of Mumford and Sons either, but I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped trying.
Oh God.
Oh, dude. So it's been crazy. I'm exhausted. I just got back from supporting Drew down for our client's big grand opening down in Belize. I mean, twist my arm, right? Like, you want me to come down and help you with a launch? Like, that sounds amazing. So what a cool gig that. So Coffee de las Mayas down in San Ignacio, Belize. Um, yeah, it was pretty awesome. I mean, so much different, man. So much different than anything we've ever done before. Yeah, but I think it's so cool to be somewhere and see something that you've done so many times work again in a different application. Like, I mean, obviously we've opened up so many coffee stands in the States, for different people, for roasters and for human being and for outsider and for Coffee Republic and for these different folks we got to partner with that have been awesome. We love our clients. We love everybody, everybody we get to do it with. But those are all pretty similar applications. Like nobody's doing rocket science, right? It's a drive-through coffee stand. Like everybody's got their own secret sauce. It makes their own things unique. I mean, CJ and Lindsay do incredible stuff at Outsider. Do make they have their special thing that makes Outsider special. Same thing with Coffee Republic. The guys up there do their own special thing. Obviously, Human Being has made a huge impact on coffee in Pacific Northwest. For the last couple decades, they've got their own special thing. Like everybody's kind of got their own thing, um but really it's drive through coffee, in the end. I think this one was so unique because it wasn't drive through. I mean, which we've kind of talked about. We usually avoid, if somebody doesn't want to do drive through, we don't usually consult with them, because there are plenty of people out there doing coffee. That's just not what we recommend. Oh, here he
The
is.
man of the hour.
Here comes the man of the hour. You there?
Yeah, my camera doesn't work, so just my voice, just a
Bah, bah,
disembodied.
bah, 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 bah.
I just don't want everyone to see the bags under my eyes.
Dude, I was just telling Ben, bro, I'm so freaking tired. So anyway, I was telling him, Drew, like, in the end, I mean, we've done so many different coffee stand grand openings, that are really pretty similar. Everybody's got their own secret sauce, but this one was so different because number one, it's not a drive-through, which is something typically we always recommend. But number two, walking traffic through a main thoroughfare in really a foreign country. We've never done it anywhere but the States, most of the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And so this is totally different application in that, the place is different, the people group is different, even, the like socioeconomic situation is different. It's not a super affluent community necessarily, but it's people that love coffee all the same. And I think that was the most encouraging thing for me, was to be someplace so other, so different, and see all of the systems that you and me and Drew and Taryn and Steven and all the guys on Collab team have really contributed to building and making so special work someplace else. That was so powerful.
Question is like no major grand opening day hiccups, no machines went down, nothing crazy happened. No hurricane.
Bro, so kind to Drew. No, I mean, no main things, right? No big deals.
No, nothing, nothing. I mean, all things considered, it went off without a hitch. Thank
Wow, that's
God,
great.
thank God Taryn was here, or it would have been a lot more work for me. But I mean,
Yeah.
one thing that was really interesting is the like we talked about, it's just a walk up. So most of the time, drive-throughs, even on a new cafe, sometimes we would just run the drive-through for the grand openings because it was, more efficient, more effective, better customer service, more consistent drinks, faster service.
Yep.
So organizing, Aaron had a ball out there playing Ben, trying to organize the traffic flow of the humans.
Yes.
So sometimes when it would get a little bit hectic, that was very interesting because I don't know, I haven't been down here long enough to know and recognize people. So when somebody comes and orders and then they go off to God knows where and then come back asking for their drink, and I
Right.
have any idea if they ordered or what they ordered.
Yep.
So organizing, I think I'd say it was probably a little bit more difficult organizing the people than it is organizing cars, because cars, you just throw cones out.
Yep.
That's right. And they sit there until they come, right? Like they're in your drive-through until the drink arrives, right? So people would, I mean, that was something that was kind of unique and kind of weird, huh, Drew? Was like people would come through, and I mean, it was pretty savage. Like, grand openings, Ben. I mean, I did channel my inner Ben Clatterbuck. I thought to myself, WWBD, like what would Ben do? Like I really tried to make sure I was lining things up based upon things that we've, not recreating the wheel. Like we've done a lot of these before. How could we reforge it this way? But something this time that was really kind of crazy was, the lines started like always. I was grateful. We opened at 6. Got there at 5:30, made sure we were ready to rock and roll, but things didn't really heat up and start getting crazy until probably closer to 8, like 8 o'clock, it started really warming up. And then from 8 a.m. there were lines until 8 p.m., like no stop. So somebody at the counter ordering something, no stop from 8 to 8. You know what I mean? Just like person after person after person after person after person. But the crazy thing about this one was because it's not a drive-through, somebody would come up and they would order 8 drinks or something, and then they would walk away, and then we had people that just didn't come back. So it was like 8 drinks sitting on the bar. Does anybody remember? Does anybody know? Yelling. Nope, nobody's coming. And then we throw them out. And then Drew, didn't we do that a couple? Like we remade them for people, and they still didn't come back.
Yeah, because well, when there's a crowd of 40 people standing around, everyone's staring at you and you're calling out drinks, they probably don't know what's going on just as much as we don't. If I'm like, hey, it was crazy, they'd order like 9, 10, 15 drinks at a time, and so I'd make 9, 10, 15 drinks and then yell out what the drinks were, and nobody would come get them, and everyone would look at me like I'm supposed to have a GPS tracker on the order burst. Just Philly.
That was crazy. That was the crazy part. I mean, you make all these drinks, and you know how it is, Ben. Like, Drew, I was so impressed with our kids. I mean, like the kids down there working, no coffee experience, not in a coffee culture. You know what I mean? So, like in the States, maybe they haven't worked for us before, or maybe they haven't worked in, but they've worked. A lot of them have done something like this before, or at least are frequent flyers, right? Have gone through a lot of Dutch Bros, have gone through a lot of, Black Rocks, have gone whatever so they have the culture ingrained in them. Like we're talking about kids down there where, no, this is new. Like this is completely new. I mean, like they're not buying these things ever. Like I know my personal kids, my children. I mean, we should have ownership in BlackRock. We should have ownership in Dutch Bros for how often my kids are hitting energy drink drive-throughs. You know what I mean? But down there, that's not how it is. And so it was really unique to see our kids really step up and see traffic volume that hard. Kids that Drew had just trained the last week or 2 weeks, really get in the trenches. I mean, I felt like I was pretty impressed with how they did.
Yeah, I'm curious. Did any of them crumble under the pressure? They hold their own pretty well.
Bro, they were impressive. Drew, tell us.
I mean, I could get a little excited, as Taryn liked to put it, and I know Ben, you've probably seen it, and Aaron got to witness it firsthand. I'm a stickler when it comes to service. I'm a stickler when it comes to speed, and these kids, I mean, we had so many hiccups in training with not getting product in time, or not wanting to just do repetitions and waste product. That they didn't have a whole lot of experience out the gate. And so of course I was a little extra sympathetic, but They did. They held their ground. They were smiling the whole day. They had fun. Afterwards, they talked about how fun it was. And to me, it was really interesting because I don't know how often they have businesses that have crowds like that here. I haven't seen it. I've been here almost, a couple months now, and I haven't seen any businesses that busy. So, like you said, usually people who work for us are pretty, well versed in understanding how a busy, like a rush goes at any type of business.
Yeah.
But these kids not having been through one or experienced one, let alone worked one, really impressed me with, their grit.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I mean, nobody that like, so I mean, all of us obviously have been at grand openings where you just see people fail, right? Drew just did a Coffee Experts Elite where a girl broke down in tears and left, right? Drew, like one of the workers
Yeah.
that just could not bear it, like couldn't bear it's stressful, dude. You know how it has been, like so much like energy and stress and frenetic and like volume, right? The machines are all running, people are ordering, you calling out drinks, trying to get drinks out to people. Like it's chaotic, and a lot of people, they can't bear up underneath it. But I felt all these kids like just rose, and yeah, they had to deal with Drew, like being a little bit tough sometimes, you know what I mean? But other than that, I felt like they all did really good. Didn't you? What, you had one of our trainees, what did they say to you, Drew? Hey, are you gonna encourage me? Or just gonna keep criticizing me? Or something like that. Wasn't it some rad, just call him out on it?
You said, "Coach, are you going to coach me or just keep criticizing me?"
That's amazing.
But I mean, in the end, they rose, and I thought they did amazing.
Yeah. And I got to be honest, the pressure, I felt the pressure a little more intensely because it's walk up. So you're
Yep.
constantly having, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 pairs of eyes looking at you and watching your every move, because not only is this a brand new business, this is almost a brand new industry down here. So
Yeah.
everybody's fascinated by the process. And so not only are they, in the States, we're watching for quality, consistency, and sanitary procedures.
Yeah.
Here, they're
Yeah.
just like watching literally everything you do. And so I had to look down sometimes and not look at the crowds. And so when my baristas would start to get a little bit, clam up a little, that's the advice I gave them was, really all we can do is work on this one at a time. And so, work with this one customer in front of you, or work on this one drink that's in front of you, and don't look at the 35 people that are all looking at you, because it changes your game when you're being watched by that many people.
How did you guys, I'm curious, how did you guys control the drink pickup? Because I mean, it's easy with cars because there's no other car there at the window to pick up the drink but that car.
Drew, tell this. Yeah, Drew, tell the story.
Like a mound.
Yeah. Tell them about that, Drew, because we started differently than what we evolved, and we evolved to do a pretty cool little system.
Yeah, we literally evolved on the fly in the middle of a grand opening to do it differently because it wasn't working. Well, first we had no limit on drinks. We just whatever. I didn't think people would be ordering so many drinks at a fit, like 15. Come on.
Right, 100. And we didn't know, like, obviously, right? All of us want to believe that our thing is going to be successful, right? But you don't know how it's going to go until you know how it's going to go. And even me, like, I just carrying the anxiety for this client, just being like, I want to show up strong for Rudy. I want to show up strong for De Los Mayas. Like I'm excited to be there with them. This is a cool thing to be in a different place with Drew, different application, whole 9 yards, right? But in the end, is this gonna suck? Like, is this just gonna be like wah wah wah? Like we just poured so much time and energy and money into this thing. Is it gonna work? Is it not gonna work? So I think that you don't know what the crowd swell is gonna be, and then just like you said, Ben, you don't know how to anticipate it. And Ben, you know how it is. Like towards the end, when you're really coming to the actual doing of the grand opening, you're so freaking tired as it is. You know what I mean? Because it was like such a heavy lift to get it all there, and so. It's like, what could we have possibly forgotten? And I think it's funny, Drew, that Ben called that out straight away. And you and I were like, frick, how are we going to handle this thing? Because it was a flex in the moment.
I think what happened was what we talked about a moment ago, where people weren't showing up for their drinks.
Yeah.
And so we had a huge, like, dude, we were doing the old school sticky note style. We were just having baristas write down the drinks and stick sticky notes. So we had 9, 10 different sticky notes with orders on them, and each order was 9 to 10 drinks, 9, 15 drinks. And so at that moment, we literally had to stop everything. I stopped taking orders, remake the drinks at the counter, which eventually didn't even get picked up, which was a 10, 12 drink order, and basically catch up, start making drinks on the menu. And then from there on, we were taking names, which is funny because, naming conventions where the names I'm used to are nothing like the names that are normal down here. And so I can butcher an American name on a good day, So these names, I read it and I don't know what to say. So I'm sure I butchered more. I butchered about 95% of the names, but that's how we pivoted. We started taking orders and writing the name down, and then at that same exact time, we limited it to 2 per person, just in the middle of the rush.
Yeah.
Like, sorry everyone, this cannot go on.
No, but kudos to Drew though, because that he called the audible. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Ben, you also know this, and anybody that's been around me any amount of time, I don't usually work grand openings. Like that's not what the frick is Aaron going to do at a grand opening? I mean, like you and me and Drew, Ben, all have like different roles we play within this art of Coffee Experts and Coffee Experts Club and Coffee Experts Elite. But mine is usually like bigger business stuff. Mine is analysis of numbers, like looking for new locations, like helping with the grand opening lift, helping with managing the construction, like helping manage with the city, all those different things. But day of, I think the last one I was at, Ben, was Kennedy. And it was such a shit show. I'm just like, what am I going to do? What am I going to offer here that's going to be a benefit? I just feel like I'm not a barista. I've never spent any time behind a bar. That's not my art, And so, but this was a situation where it was like all hands on deck. So, I mean, they pulled me in pretty deep, not making shots, obviously, but like Drew was saying, crowd control, working the register. Like we were doing it all, just keeping it all fresh and mixed up. But I do think that kudos to Drew for calling an audible in the midst of a crazy scenario where it's like, no, listen, stop, time out, like crowd swell is still crazy. Time out. No, bro, we got to move away from it. 2 drinks to person, and then let's move into a whole new workflow. And so we did. We just started writing everything down, and it made everything super clean and easy rather than a drive-through where you're stacking and you have your order, your order's up because that's at the window,
I will say, I mean, this just proves never underestimate a human's desire to show up for a good deal. Universal. From one country to another, if there's a good deal, people will show up no matter where you're at. And if you say $2 drinks, it's gonna be crazy.
I guess, dude.
Yeah. And just like all the grand openings ever done, right? Like cars are just lined up. Like it was just people were just lined up, and
that's
crazy.
I think that, I mean, we talk a lot about, being very drive-through forward. And I see a lot of that around, even in our area, where people are constantly, not constantly, but people will open up walk-up only shops, or you do a Airstream where they're parked in the parking lot. And I think what a lot of them, the reason why a lot of those don't fail is because they don't have the foot traffic there. I mean, the difference between, say, a Suburbia and if I were to go to Seattle gets coffee shop does great because they have dedicated like they're guaranteed to have 1,000 people walking by a day. It doesn't happen in Suburbia.
Right.
So it's kind of like it's a kind of a proof of concept of that, in that if you have a drive-through and you have 1,000 cars going by a day, you're going to have a guaranteed success. If you have a walk-up, just because it's a walk-up doesn't mean it's going to fail. You have to have that guaranteed feet, just like you want guaranteed, cars driving by. And De Los Mayas, it sounds like you've got those guaranteed feet that are always going to be passing by. So you're guaranteed to always have a certain percentage of those people stopping in, which means you're always going to be busy.
Yep.
Well, and there's a few benefits to where we're sitting too, because we're right by a couple of, sorry, someone's doing some construction. We're right by some like tour guide places that all send their people to us, and it is only foot traffic, and most of these businesses don't open until 8 or 9, and we're open at 6. So we have like 3-hour jump on everywhere around us where there's no food, there's no drinks, there's nothing going on. So we also have that going for us. It's been a really nice benefit.
And I think, like finding your space, so I got out there and talked to you. Typical grand opening, right? So we had like people there doing live stream, we had people there interviewing, we had people doing like a bunch of energy, just trying to get eyeballs on us online to get there. And, I talked a lot about how just find your magic. Like, what is it that you're bringing? Like, and I feel like what De Los Mayas is bringing to this particular area is like quick, fast, like good coffee. You know what I mean? Whereas in this culture is a very like sit down, shoot the shit, like have long conversation, like enjoy a meal. Like, and so there was some question of, okay, so is this something they're going to all want? But in the end, what we found is that it's a both and, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there are times that people want to sit down and enjoy themselves, but there's also times they want to get their coffee and keep on moving. These are people, I talked to several people, and I know it wasn't the exception, it was the norm, of who are working multiple jobs, you know, and they just have spots in between, and they need to know that they can stop by someplace and have their drink turned in just a couple minutes so they can keep on moving. And so I think it was cool just to be able to find the rhythm of, no, there are other people in this town that are doing coffee. They're just not doing coffee the way that we're doing coffee. You know, they're not doing coffee the way that Coffee Experts teaches it. And it was cool to see us be able to complement and meet a culture that is really different than maybe we're used to in Pacific Northwest, but also the same, like you were saying, like people still want good, strong coffee. People still want it quick, you know, speed, service, strength. They still want to be served. Drew and I also realized we both can't be standing at the bar at the same time, or the counter at the same time, because we just broad the shit out of people as far as like, it was bad. You know what I mean? Like people would come, people like, "What's up, dude? What do you guys want?" And there's like, whoa. And Drew and I together was just like one gasoline on fire. So I think you like learning how to engage with the crowd you're in, learning how to bring good energy. I think all those things were a special thing that Coffee de las Mayas were able to help them bring to San Ignacio, which was pretty special.
Were there
Dan,
any blended
awesome.
drinks left over to make?
What?
What'd you say?
Were
What'd you
there
say?
any blended drinks left over to make in the world? Because it looked like you guys have been through a ton of them.
Dude, insanity. And aren't we? They should start selling these things with 2 pitchers. I don't understand why just 1 pitcher. Come on.
Look at Drew starting to innovate. Drew's like come up with like 10 business models since he's been down there. 2 pitchers. But I will say, I mean, the majority are right. Some of the other things we determined, right? There's the majority were blendeds. You know what I mean? We're in a hot place. You know, they did do quite a bit of ice, but there were a lot of blendeds. You know, it's not like they have a huge back bar blender area. You know, they've got a couple blenders. And so if you have people show up and order 10 drinks and then just not show, you just lost like 10 minutes of line time, you know what I mean, at minimum, to make those drinks and get them out, you know. And so if you have to remake a drink, so that's why Drew called the audible, was we were just losing too much time. Like you make that many blended drinks, the people better be there to get them, otherwise everybody's just mad in the crowd that they're waiting so long while the back bars is knocking down the drinks, you know.
Yep. How was that, Drew, with the blended drinks? I mean, obviously, ice was an issue for sure, but did you guys run into any other issues of the nonstop blended drinks?
No, it was so very interesting. So there's a place here called Belize Ice right up the street. And
Yep.
really, you know, as many things that are inconvenient in this country, there are almost more to supplement the inconveniences. So for example, Belize Ice, 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes away, we'll send a text and they'll bring us 50 pounds of ice.
Wow.
But we had to do that probably 10 times. But the ice is huge, so we had to change all the recipes on the fly too. So less ounces in your ice drinks, more ounces in your blended drinks. So like on the fly, when we realized the ice was just massive block of ice, when we used half diced ice, there was just a lot of things to juggle in the moment.
Interesting.
But I mean, it all worked out, and everybody actually we only have received positive feedback.
Yeah, that was the other thing, was, you know, just so much overflow of positive feedback. You know, grand openings, right? There are always going to be people that are going to be they're going to be upset or not all happy, or you're not going to be able to can't, people are people, right? You can't make everybody happy, you know. But I mean, I think, Drew, what do we have, like one person that complained, and it wasn't even really a complaint, it was more like a critique. It was more like, you know, they felt like we should be doing something different, but it was that's fine. Like people can have different opinions on how we're doing things or whatever, but nobody that was mad or angry or left us some, you know, scathing review online. I felt like overall people were really stoked by the event, really stoked by the energy, really stoked by, and have been continue to be kind, like just blowing up the social media feeds, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, just like continually posting their drinks, posting themselves with their drinks, you know, standing in front of the mural. They did Coffee de las Mayas did a really cool mural of the Mayan ruins that are right behind them, that, you know, just like not even a mile away from the location, and like really trying to honor San Ignacio, honor the place. People are out there taking pictures with their drink, you know, standing in front of the place, like things that you want to see, you know. which is rad.
That's really cool.
And even still, I mean, we're day 5 open,
Yeah.
and it's almost constantly somebody here. We're not it's slammed, but there's almost always a customer here. You're asking questions, buying something. We'd already have regulars that come back, people who work on the strip here. But all day, I mean, we won't go more than 5 minutes without somebody walking up and ordering something. So
That's great.
which is huge, I think, because, first of all, the population of this entire country is about the same as my hometown. So to have that type of foot traffic, I think, is really impressive for a business in a place like this. And it's a new business, a new industry. And I think everybody's just been really excited about it.
That's cool. Yeah, it's always, I mean, that was always my biggest complaint, I guess, with grand openings was you always up front, you spended so much, especially in the roasters days.
Yes.
So much expenditure to get this giant swell, but then like how many of those actually ever come back? I mean, we always
Right.
had jokes of our repeat grand opening customers who you never saw ever once in a year, but we'd open a grand opening and here's the same family that came through. It's like, all right, we'll see you next year when we open our next store.
Right.
So to have a good grand opening, but then to get those repeat customers right out the gate, that's awesome. I think it does sound like it's very much a I know we get used to it up here because we see it all the time, especially in the roasters days, with coffee shops. Like you see a new coffee shop pop up all the time. So for it to be something brand new, it means it's actually making a mark on the community down there of the culture of people wanting to know what's going on, seeing what's happening, being excited there's something new, and obviously having a good time with the grand opening so they come back the next day. I mean, all of those are positive insights for the business in the long term.
I think that the other part, absolutely 100% seeing recurring customers. And that was something that, we'd gone on there with the intent of we're targeting Americans, we're targeting people that know coffee. This is a tourist town. They do a lot of tourism because of the Mayan ruins, because of people that want to come and experience kind of the backcountry Belize is what this area is known for. But to see the local people swell so hard was so rad, because I think that, we weren't sure, like, is this price point going to meet people at a place where they're going to be able to get drinks consistently? Are we, like, it was hard to know, but yeah, from what we've seen so far, we've had even quite a few of the local people say, hey, thanks for having such fair prices for us. And we thought, man, that wasn't our expectation coming in. And we have a certain way, Ben, you created, and you spent a whole Coffee Experts Club episode walking us through how you created the pricing structure for coffee and the things people need to take in consideration, and how you make sure that you're maintaining profitability, and how you really work your COGS, your cost of goods, and making sure you're working all those pieces. So our prices are true to COGS, you know what I mean? And so it was like, listen, we can only charge what we can charge. And to have people come back and feel like we're really fair for the quality they were getting was super encouraging.
That's great.
Yeah. I think too, the other, sorry, go ahead, Drew.
So it's kind of fun today. They're really big on social media here. A lot of the communication about new things going on and exciting things, and a lot of it's through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever else is out there right now. So people are traveling from other towns and other cities to come here. And today these gals came up and they were like, first time here visiting from Belize City. We got to try this famous coffee we've heard about. And so like it's reaching other parts of the country, which is 70 miles away, which is from where we are, the opposite side of the country. So it's like people are hearing about it fast and coming and traveling. And I liked the words famous coffee. That made me feel pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude. I think too that something that we didn't talk about at all, so I mean, what we say, Drew, like 796 or something coffees that for our cups the first day was like almost 800 cup day.
Definitely did over 800.
Yeah, so I mean, over 800 cups on a first day and in some place brand new was pretty dang impressive. But the thing that we haven't talked about at all is cash too. Like the banks there didn't open up their credit. They're so funny. They wouldn't give Coffee This Minus a credit card processing machine until they were already open. We're like, well, what good is it going to do once we're already open? Like we need credit cards, but you want us to do a grand opening without opening with credit cards? I mean, when they said, we fought so hard, and in the end, we just had to succumb to it. We couldn't get it to work, and they still did those counts. So all cash, all day, still crazy numbers. I was so impressed.
That's great. Well, so were your not car times, but your feet times hurt by that at all? Because all cash only is so much slower than credit.
It wasn't. I felt, Drew, what did we say? We were down to like, it was like a 1 minute 20 second cart or wait time.
Yeah, all day, minute 20 average.
That's
Minute 20
awesome.
average.
Well, and it's especially interesting because they use different bills here. So they use $2 bills, and their $1 is a coin. So they use $1 coins, a quarter, twos, fives, tens, 20s, and 50s. So there's actually more possibilities and more combinations of change. But the way that they were priced here, and especially for grand opening, was an even $2. So the change was always an exact, a square number, made it easier. Not necessarily on the $1 coins. We ran out of those, which was that was it was a busy day other than just the coffee. We had a lot of problem solving on the fly to do. But it was fast, all things considered, and our cash was pretty close to what was in the compared to how it could have been. We were pretty dang close to what the till said we should have.
That's awesome.
Especially everything new, right? That was the thing. I can't say enough about the people at San Ignacio and the kids that we've gotten to hire from there, because I just think, man, we're talking about putting a lot of new people in and not a lot of new roles, and you know how that can go. Like, it messes up your drawer, it messes up everything, can get messy. But I just think over and over they've impressed us. Just super big privilege to be able to partner with Coffee de los Mayas. Super big privilege to partner with San Ignacio, Santa Elena, Belize. I mean, definitely just a special thing. So overall, couldn't be more happy with how it went.
That's
Amen.
All righty, gents. We're at the end of Coffee Experts for the day. We could talk about De Los Mayas all day long. So thanks for tuning in today. We'll catch you next week on Coffee Experts Club. See you guys.